Well, hello there. And how's everybody doing? No, seriously, I want to talk about something. I was listening to a woman, and she was talking about how her son's behavior towards her, she realized that it's because they were watching the likes of Kevin Samuels, Tommy Sotomayor, and some other people. Because I'm familiar with Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor because their names had gotten real big that even if you don't watch them, you still know their names because they come up in the algorithm. No matter what kind of channels you watch. But it's like she finally got a revelation that she was having problems with her sons, and this is not a criticism. I want to start by saying this is no criticism to her. I want to kind of talk about something though. But she came to the revelation and that her son's odd behavior towards her was because they were watching the likes of Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor. Now, I'm just using that as an example, but here's what I want to say. I realize that women have sons, but what causes, and this is a sincere question because I don't have sons, I don't have children. What causes brown women specifically, because I don't see other women like this. What causes brown women, just because they have sons, or they don't even have to have sons, because I've seen some that don't have sons. What caused them to be so loyal to a certain group of men that they tolerate abusive behavior? And I'm not talking about in a relationship or domestic violence either. I'm talking about we clearly see that somebody's online that has a huge platform, that he has built his platform off of disrespecting a certain group of people. And now here's the thing, I'm not saying this to offend anybody else. But at this point, it's something worth talking about, and I hate it when you can't have the conversation. I hate it when you can't really talk about it, or you're accused of hating somebody because you talk about it. I don't like that because people that do that, they want you to act like nothing exists and just sweep it under the rug. But this is not even an issue for me anyway. I'm trying to get why a woman, can sit there and know these guys have the kind of that platforms. You're well aware that Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels, and these other guys have platforms where they completely, regardless of whatever they've been through in their past with the brown women, they built a platform and get paid lots of money and have a huge following off of tearing down brown women. Now here's the thing. I believe those people got so popular because of brown women themselves that seems to be addicted to abuse. So that's why I never really got too upset with those guys, because when I realized that brown women as a collective, not certain brown women, when I realized that brown women as a collective, they don't support people that are nice to them. And I'm talking about a woman too. They don't support other women that's nice to them. They don't support other men. It's not about, these women like men that's mean to them. Like, well, they like other women that's mean to them too. So it ain't about that. But when I realized that it seems like the collective, okay, not all, of brown women seemed like they were more attracted to somebody who completely disrespected them and mistreated them and just didn't even consider them to be a human being. I mean, at least a human. Shit. Because the human is still like the lowest level of the soul. But still, not even a level of, they treat these women like less than that. And it seems like a lot of brown women, they seem to give more attention and they seem to be more appreciative and be more supportive of people in general who just treat them like shit. Now, my point in saying this is that I don't. Why can't you? How can somebody, a woman, look at all these channels and they clearly see that these men built a platform off of tearing down brown women, regardless if brown women have an addiction to abuse where they can't seem to support people who actually treat them with respect. Okay, men or women. And then you finally come to the conclusion that, oh, your sons are watching this. Let me tell you something. I remember, when was it? What year was it? I don't know the year. But I remember I was doing home health. It was like probably 2015. I think it was like, might have been 2015. And I was doing a home health visit, right? I'm an OT, so I was doing therapy, not necessarily nursing, just therapy. And I was working with a lady's mother, and then she was talking to me because she might be a couple of years older than me. I know she was older than I am, though. And she has a son who has a developmental delay. But I remember I was telling her around that time about all of the bashing that was going on with brown women. And the reason I was telling her that is because she has a son. I wasn't telling her that because it was doing anything to bother me. I was telling her that because she has a son. And when I told her that but I told her about one person in particular. I was telling her about the Tommy Sotomayor. And I was telling her that this guy has a big platform and you might want to watch out. She was like saying, well, one person's opinion doesn't mean that everybody feel that way. I said, no, you don't understand. He has a big platform with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. People all over the world watch him. It's more than just his opinion. If he got that many followers and that many people that just keep tuning into him, he's like, a lot of people, are following this. And I said, I told her specifically, I said and then at this time I said the word black, okay? I didn't say brown like I do today. I say brown today, but at that time I said black. And so I said, no, it's a lot of black boys that don't have fathers that are going to put people like Tommy Sotomayor in the place of their father. That's exactly what I said to that lady. And she just wanted to defend, she wanted to speak in defense of brown men when I wasn't even putting down brown men or black men. I wasn't even putting black men down in the first place. I'm tired of people, when I want to talk about what one person is doing, but they have a huge platform. I might talk about what 2 or 3 guys are doing and they have huge platform. That doesn't mean I'm tearing down the whole group of men. It's like, and now it's gotten bad to the point where it has really gotten into the minds of a lot of young boys. But it's like, why can't you see it? Now, it'd be different if you never heard of these folks. That's different. Like, why don't you know that was going to influence your son? I don't even have children, but I don't want to say, I'm not trying to say, well, I don't have children, but I was able to see it. Because I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. But I do know it's something about brown women where, with all this that's been happening since 2006, just with YouTube alone, something goes on with brown women where they can't see that it's going to be detrimental eventually. Something goes on where they can't see things. Something is wrong with that altogether, because I said something before, outside of talking about this stuff, I was doing a lot of home health in like LA, the inner city, like South Central and stuff like that. It's just called Los Angeles, zip code 90043. It's just Los Angeles, right? And she was just talking about how it would be gangbangers that would wait for the kids to get off the bus after school and they'd be shooting the kids in the head. Then she talked about, girl, I just pray. She talked about, girl, I just pray. I think sometimes when you're exposed to a certain type of behavior so much that you don't even see that is deadly. Because I don't know why a bunch of kids can get shot and it doesn't seem to move you. You can't seem to see that that's a problem. See, sometimes something can happen over and over so much to the point where if nothing is really done to change it, then you learn to accept it. And then it almost like makes you numb to it. And you don't, because it's not really affecting you anymore because you become numb to it, you can't see what it might do to somebody else. But I didn't mean to bring this up. I just felt like kind of saying it because I don't want to get into that energy right there, right? I don't want to get into that energy of this stuff going on between the brown male and the brown women. I don't want to get into that energy because that has nothing to do with my personal life. Let me say it like that. That has nothing to do with my personal life at all. And so I don't want to give that too much attention. But I just happened to listen to a lady talk about how she kind of came to a revelation that because her son didn't really have, maybe not had a strong father figure in his life, a strong male role model in his life, and then he was attaching to the likes of Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels, so that's what became his father. But you know what? I said that, I think in 2015 when I was trying to tell this lady, when I was working with her mother, and I said, these men are getting on YouTube, and I'm telling you because you got a son, because you might not know it, but they're hurting your son more than they're hurting the little girls. They're hurting your son more. Okay, because they're going to cause the boys to leave, to just not want brown women at all. Because true enough, brown women got their issues, but with all this stuff that's happening online, it caused things to get a lot worse. Okay, it caused things to get a lot worse. It caused both people to be a lot worse. Ooh, hold on, sorry. It caused both people to be a lot worse too. The young men and young women, they caused them to be a little bit worse too. So, but I said, I feel like it's affecting the boys more than it is affecting the girls. I said, and I'm telling you this because you have a son, and because when these boys don't have strong male role models in their life, they're going to attach to people like Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels. That's what I told her, but she just kept wanting to defend and say, well, one person's opinion doesn't mean everybody. She just kept wanting to just be defensive. And now here we go in 2023. Oh, all those men with those channels, they programming the minds of the young black boys. I don't understand why it took all the way to 2023 to see that what Tommy was doing back then was going to mess up the minds of young black boys, not really young black girls, young black boys, or brown boys, or brown girls. Why wasn't that seen back then? And I'm talking about a whole group of women. Why couldn't that be seen by brown women back then? It's like, are you that loyal to this group of men that you're willing to allow a man to poison the mind of your son? It's like, where does your loyalty lie, though? And I'm not talking about the lady with this channel either. I'm not talking about her. I'm just talking about in general. Where does your loyalty lie? Because either you're going to be loyal to your son or you're going to be loyal to somebody else that has a platform, but you want to just be supportive because he's got brown skin. Where does your loyalty lie? Because I remember saying this to this lady, that these people got lots of followers. These people got lots of people they got a lot of people that they're influencing. And the people around the world are seeing them. I said, this is not so much about the brown woman. This is going to hurt the brown boy, because he's going to separate from his mother. These brown boys are being taught to separate from brown women, and they're being taught to separate from his mother. Okay? Now, I get that people have experiences in life, but I'm talking about with all this stuff going on, is all this stuff that's influenced on social media, then it's causing them to be mind programmed to really, really push away from his mother and other women that look like him. And I'm not one to be against all the interracial dating and all that stuff. I don't care about that. My point is that you don't see any other group of men that's just going to completely push away from that group of women. And people can say all day long, well, I see a lot of black couples. Let me tell you something. With the way things are going right now in social media, in the next 5 or 6 years, if it keep going like that, you're not going to see brown women and brown women together at all. And the only time you really see brown women and brown men together is in the hood. It's because they live in the hood. Those are the only people that's really together, the ones that's in the hood. The brown men in the hood mostly are with brown women. But just like outside the hood, they dating outside their race or whatever, and that's fine. But I mean, just in a few years, it's not going to be any brown women and brown men together. And I don't really care. I'm just kind of trying to. I don't care about that part. I don't care about maintaining the brown community. So I don't really have anything. I don't have a dog in that fight anyway. But what I'm just trying to what I don't get is that I don't understand how women could have looked at these men videos, know about these men videos, and know the kind of platform they have, and you couldn't think in your mind to say, this might not be healthy for my son to watch. Why didn't it register at the time? And it's almost like the reason why I'm asking that is because it probably did. But they have this loyalty to anybody that looks like a brown male with brown skin, even if it's almost like loyalty to them over their own child. And I'm not talking about the lady with this YouTube channel either. But it looked like it's loyalty to them even over their own child. It's like you're so is it that the loyalty that serious to the point where you know you have a son and you know your son might listen to this. Okay? And your loyalty is that deep that you see the damage that this can cause. But your loyalty is so deep that you don't think to really look out for to really consider the fact that this is hurting your son. Okay, to keep defending that behavior. Because you don't have to completely be against brown men to not defend that behavior. Because whatever problems they really have, things need to be handled differently. But it's not about a problem. They're making money, okay? I know that they might have had problems in their life with maybe their mother or something. But this ain't about their mother. They making money. Reason why, because Kevin Samuels, when he first started, I saw people playing clips of other videos with him. And he first started off trying to be a mentor to brown men. I saw him starting off trying to be like what you would see like some of these ladies that try to talk to other brown women and try to have them, clean themselves up. And, that's what he was doing. He was just trying to, give advice to brown men about how to be better, maybe better fathers. A lot of father advice. Okay? And I know maybe he don't have the greatest relationship with his children, but the point is, at least he was talking to his own gender and his own color. Regardless of whether he had a perfect relationship with his children or not, at least he was talking to other brown men, okay? And he seemed like he was being sincere, but that's just not where the money was. The money was in, tearing up brown women. And unfortunately, brown women went along with that, and that's the problem. Something is wrong. That's why I can never be interested in the brown community coming together like that. You can't look at that kind of sickness. You cannot look at that kind of mental illness and want that community to come together. Because if that community come together, 90% of the people are going to have to be removed. That's too much illness right there. That's too much illness. Where you literally had when we first saw, or when I first saw, because I don't watch Kevin Samuels, but I saw that viral video of where he called this lady average at best and she gonna die alone this brown skinned lady who she was like a six-figure person herself, and so she was looking for a man to make six figures, because every time she meets somebody that make less than her, it's almost like she's always footing the bill. She's always, doing the most. So she wants somebody that's on her level, basically. And it don't matter if she average at best. I don't feel like she was average, but if she was, that's just his perception. That's how he see it. And she should get what the hell she want. She don't have no reason to be putting in all the work and paying for everything. I mean, get a child, adopt a child if you're gonna do that, okay? You don't get no grown ass man when you pay for everything. You don't need dick that bad. And I did say dick because I noticed, and I hate to say this, but somebody else said this, is more spiritual you get, the more you cuss. And that is so true. And because the reason why I started cursing more, or cussing more, the more I became spiritual is because that's when the more you become spiritual, the more you see that everything is a lie. You start to see that everything is a lie and all of your morals are bullshit. Okay, all of the morals are bullshit. And so you just curse more because nothing really matter. Okay, but anyway, getting back to it, yeah, so I'm done. I just, it's something is like, I try to understand, like, man, you've been knowing about these channels for a long time and you finally came to this conclusion that this is not good for your son. It's like, what took so long? How did you not see that? And this is not just for this one person I saw. This is a lot of brown women that just can't see that was going to hurt their son. They could not see that was going to hurt their sons. Because a lot of them kept paying attention to the fact that they're putting down brown women. They're bashing brown women. I saw in 2015, you know what? It looked like it's hurting the brown women and brown girls. But ultimately, who they are hurting the most are brown boys. And I told this to this lady with her son. But her son got developmental delays, but that don't mean he can't watch stuff on YouTube. That don't mean he can't understand things. He might be delayed in certain areas, but that doesn't mean that he can't click on something he don't understand. The smaller things, like, it's not like he can't understand some things. And you definitely got to be careful with somebody like that taking in a Kevin Samuels or a Tommy Sotomayor, because they certainly can't process a whole lot of stuff right. Like, they cannot internalize things in a way that maybe others can. So you got to definitely be careful with that. But it's not that anybody can control what he watches anyway. But the point I'm making is that they just didn't see it. Like, their loyalty to brown men was so deep that they didn't care that it was certain things in the community that could hurt their son. For example, even a gang violence. So let me get off of Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels. Let's just look at the gang violence, right? But you got your little son in this community. But it's like your loyalty is to black men in such a way that you're willing to allow other black men you're willing to like be in a neighborhood where other black men or brown men are killing children. And it's almost like it's hard for them to choose between this gang member and their own son. Like, the loyalty for brown men is like loyalty for brown men no matter what. It's like more loyalty or equal amount of loyalty to the gangbanger that's killing the kids. It's like, okay, but see, because of your loyalty to the gangbanger in the neighborhood that's killing the kids, it's hard for you to really protect your son like you should. Because you have a lot of women that's not really saying enough is enough in those type of neighborhoods. And it's because they are brown men, you want to blame the white man on what, this is what happened a lot back in the day. The white man was always blamed on these guys killing each other and killing kids. And it's like, well, who dropped off the guns in the neighborhood? Who dropped off the guns? It's almost like they had to have a loyalty to people that were destroying the neighborhood. And it's like they couldn't choose between the gangbanger and their own children. They couldn't choose. And it seemed like it's the same thing with these guys that get online with YouTube and they do things to destroy the community, but you can't see where it's going to eventually hurt your child, because me as a grown person that's in my 40s, they're not going to affect me as much, right? I'm already grown. I'm in my 40s, please. But it's like it's hard to see that this is going to hurt the younger generations. It's hard to see it for some reason. But there's no surprise if they can't even see what gangbanging is, and they're constantly allowing these guys to shoot each other up in the neighborhood and shoot up kids and shoot up other men and women and shoot up elders and shoot up grandmas. It's hard for them to see what that's a problem too. They want so badly to be loyal to the black men that they are willing to let everybody, including other black men, just get shot up. Okay. So, yeah, that's a serious, and you don't want to save a community with that kind of consciousness. You want to let that community go. And so this is not about putting down brown men. This is not about literally putting down brown women. It's like, it's something that they can't seem to see, that they have allowed something to go on so long that it has grown to the point where it's become malignant. I mean, when Tommy first started, it was benign. In 2015, 2014, 2013, it was still benign, even though he was making he was getting a lot of traction. It was still benign. Now you done got to the point where that gave rise to a Kevin Samuels. And then other people are trying to be like another Kevin Samuels. That it became malignant. It became malignant, and you can't do nothing with that. It's no saving. It's no saving. And the problem didn't just start with the YouTube. It's been a problem. But YouTube helped the message to get out there even more, because they were more clear on how they really felt. They didn't have to put stuff in rap songs and stuff, and they were clear on how they felt. When you get on YouTube, you get to be more clear on how you feel. But in this case, these people were making money. Okay, these people were making money. Anyway, though, I'll talk later, y'all. It's just that I was listening to somebody. I was like, wow, like, it's 2022, almost 2023, and it's like, how were these guys able to be on YouTube for so long, and it just went past brown women to see that it was going to hurt their son probably more than it hurts girls. But then as I was talking just now, I thought about it. Well, they look at gangbangers in the neighborhood that's shooting up other boys, but they are so focused on protecting the gangbanger, trying to blame it on police brutality and being frustrated with white supremacy, that they can't protect their sons. And this is no offense to people who have sons. This is just something I witness all the time, that they feel like they have to be so loyal to the murderers in the neighborhood, because you want to blame the white man, and you want to blame the CIA or whatever. You want to blame somebody for putting guns in the neighborhood or putting crack in the neighborhood. And that there can't be enough loyalty to the children. It's either going to be one or the other. And most of the time, it seems like the community and the brown women and the community in general chose the side of the gangbangers. They chose the side of the drug dealers. Because you have to choose a side. You might not know you're choosing a side, but you're choosing a side. When you decide that they don't need to get the hell out of the community, you chose a side, and you chose the side of the drug dealer, and you chose to be loyal to the gangbanger and the drug dealers that's murdering the community more than you have to be loyal to your children, because you have to choose a side. You can't make excuses for people that do that and then call yourself protecting your children. It's going to be either or. You got to choose a side. There's no middle there. So either you're going to get rid of them and protect the children, or the children die and the gangbangers and all the drug dealers stay. And that's what's happening. The drug dealers and the gangbangers stay and the children die. So anyway, that's it, and I'll talk later.